In a recent broadcast, an analyst provided an in-depth overview of the ongoing geopolitical tensions involving Iran and Israel, as well as the evolving situation in Ukraine. The analyst noted that internet outages has disrupted their usual broadcasting setup, necessitating a relocation to ensure the program could proceed. This disruption highlighted broader infrastructure challenges amidst escalating regional conflicts. The analysts emphasized that Israel's initial military actions against Iran on June 12 and 13, 2025, while impactful, did not achieve the decisive victory many anticipated. Israeli officials have since acknowledged the potential for a protracted conflict with Iran, a sentiment echoed by analysts who have long warned of the complexities involved in neutralizing Iran's military capabilities. Reports indicate that Iran's air defense systems are gradually regaining operational capacity, although claims about shooting down advanced fighter jet remain unsubstantiated. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reportedly suggested that Iran possesses a stockpile of approximately 22,000 ballistic missiles capable of targeting Israel, significantly higher than previous estimates. This assertion raises questions about earlier assumptions regarding Israel's ability to outlast Iran in a prolonged conflict. Speculation about Israeli aircraft relocating to bases in Greece and Cyprus underscore early concern about the substantiability of Israeli operations within Iranian airspace. Iranian nuclear facilities, particularly those at Isfahan, have been targeted repeatedly by Israeli airstrikes. However, these attacks appear to have only temporarily hindered Iran's nuclear enrichment efforts rather than crippling them entirely. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has provided assessments suggesting that the damage inflicted does not equate to a 3-year setback in Iran's nuclear ambitions, as claimed by Israeli officials. Notably, this timeline aligns closely with earlier U.S. intelligence estimated from March 2025, which projected a similar timeframe for Iran to develop a nuclear weapon if it chose to pursue one. The analysts speculated that this alignment might reflect behind-the-scenes coordination between Israeli and American officials, potentially aimed at crafting a diplomatic exit strategy from the current crisis. Such coordination could involve leveraging shared timelines to justify a negotiated ceasefire, though the analysts cautioned that these were merely conjectures based on publicly available information. Efforts to broker peace through multilateral talks in Geneva proved unsuccessful, collapsing after just 90 minutes due to irreconcilable differences. The European delegation reiterates long-standing demands for Iran to halt uranium enrichment entirely, a position categorically rejected by Tehran. The analysts argue that such demands ignore both legal precedents under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and historical grievance stemming from Western interference in Iran's attempt to import enriched uranium. President Donald Trump responded to the failed negotiations by indicating openness to direct talk with Iran, signaling potential shift in U.S. foreign policy. However, his administration simultaneously escalated military deployment, including positioning 3 U.S. Navy carriers near Iranian waters, a move interpreted as anything but conciliatory. Despite rumors of back-channel communications between senior officials like Stefan Bilgun and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, no formal negotiations have materialized, largely due to Iran's refusal to engage while under attack. The analysts expressed concern over discussion surrounding the use of nuclear weapons to destroy Iran's enrichment facility at Fordo, describing such proposal as reckless, given the apparent consensus that Iran remains years away from developing a functional nuclear arsenal. These deliberations occur against a backdrop of growing skepticism regarding conventional military options, with experts like Max Haston questioning whether existing bunker-busting bombs could effectively neutralize deeply buried facilities. Turning to Ukraine, the analysts analyzed remarks made by Russian President Vladimir Putin during the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. Putin reaffirms Russia's unwavering support for Iran amid Israeli aggression, but also outlines shifting perspective on Ukraine's sovereignty. He describes Russians and Ukrainians as one people, implying that all Ukrainian territory inherently belongs to Russia. This rhetoric suggests a potential reconfiguration of Ukraine's status post-conflict, possibly leading to its reabsorption into a larger Russian state structure. Putin's comment indicates a hardening stance for Kyiv, emphasizing that Ukraine's independence is conditional upon maintaining neutrality and non-alignment with NATO. Failure to meet these conditions could result in further territorial losses beyond currently occupied regions. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov recently echoed this sentiment, stating that Ukraine's refusal to accept Moscow's term would culminate in outright capitulation. Military developments on the ground corroborated this strategic shift. Russian forces continued advancing across multiple fronts, capturing key villages and threatening encirclement maneuvers reminiscent of past campaigns. Reports highlighted shortage in Ukrainian artillery shells, armored vehicles, and drones, particularly concerning given the cessations of Chinese drone export to Kyiv. In contrast, Russia's industrial base demonstrated remarkable resilience, enabling mass production of relatively inexpensive FPV drones compared to their Western counterparts. Economic factors play a crucial role in sustaining Russian war efforts. Steel production, abundant scrap metal reserves, and strict cost controls allow Moscow to maintain high output level without straining national resources. Meanwhile, Western analysts underestimate Russia's efficiency in manufacturing military hardware, further complicating prospects for Ukrainian counteroffensives. Putin's speech at SPIEF coincided with increased diplomatic engagement from global leaders representing emerging powers like Indonesia, South Africa, Bahrain, and China. Their presence signaled broader acceptance of multipolar world dynamics, challenging traditional Western hegemony. None of these leaders publicly dispute Putin's assertions regarding Ukraine's future, hinting at tacit recognition of alternative governance models should Moscow prevail militarily. The analyst concluded by stressing the urgency of reassessing current strategies amid deteriorating conditions for Ukraine. Continued reliance on dwindling supplies and overstretched front lines risk catastrophic consequences unless immediate action addresses logistical bottlenecks. Simultaneously, unresolved tensions between Washington and Tel Aviv threaten to escalate into wider regional conflicts involving major powers, an outcome neither side could afford lightly. Ultimately, the path forward requires nuanced diplomacy grounded in realistic assessment of power balance, rather than idealistic assumption about quick resolution or unilateral dominance. Whether through negotiation or battlefield realities, the coming months will likely determine the trajectory of multiple interconnected crises shaping global security landscapes well into the future. That's it for me for today. Stay tuned for more upcoming breaking news, deep analysis, and essential updates you won't find anywhere else. Don't get left in the dark. Hit subscribe now and smash that notification bell to be the first to know when major events unfold. Essential viewing is just one click away. More from me soon. Have a nice day.